Seniors warning. Listen carefully, because your legs are trying to tell you something. Have you been feeling weaker going upstairs? Knees trembling when you get out of a chair? It might not be age. It might be your vitamins. Yes, the same pills you trusted for energy and strength could be silently draining your legs of power. Many seniors are unknowingly damaging their muscles and nerves with daily supplements, thinking they're doing something good. This isn't just about vitamins. It's about independence, balance, and staying on your feet. You deserve to know the truth before the damage becomes permanent. If you care about your strength, balance, and future independence, don't miss what's coming. Click subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a health warning that could save your legs or even your life. And if this hits home, leave a comment below. We're here for each other. Number 1, vitamin B6, or pyridoxine, is often promoted as a helpful supplement for energy, brain support, or even mood. But for people over 50, taking too much B6 can quietly damage the very nerves that control your legs. This isn't a rare side effect. It's well documented, especially in older adults who often take multiple supplements without realizing how much B6 they're actually consuming. Many multivitamins, energy boosters, and memory aids contain high doses, sometimes over 100 milligrams, which far exceed what the body needs. That's when B6 stops helping and starts harming. When B6 builds up beyond safe levels, it begins interfering with nerve function, particularly the sensory nerves responsible for feeling in the feet, toes, and lower legs. These are the same nerves that help you balance, walk steadily, and react to uneven ground. Some seniors report a strange tingling or burning in their feet. Others feel like they're walking on sponges or can't sense where their foot is landing. These are not minor annoyances. They are signs of nerve toxicity, and the damage can creep in slowly, making it hard to trace back to the supplement. A large review published in Neurology journal documented that long-term high-dose B6 was strongly linked to peripheral neuropathy, a type of nerve damage that causes numbness, weakness, and poor coordination, especially in the legs. The symptoms can mimic diabetic nerve pain, but in many cases, the only trigger was excessive B6 from daily supplements. What makes this even more alarming is that the damage often lingers for months, even after stopping the vitamin. In some cases, it may never fully go away. The recommended dietary allowance, RDA, for B6 in adults over 50 is only about 1.5 to 1.7 milligrams per day. That's all the body needs, and more than enough if you're eating a fairly balanced diet. Yet many seniors are unknowingly taking 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams, or even higher doses every single day. Some are told it helps with fatigue. Others are given B-complex vitamins by family or well-meaning caregivers. But studies show that chronic intake of B6 above 50 milligrams per day, especially when taken for months or years, is linked to real, measurable nerve damage. Doctors have observed that seniors with high B6 levels often struggle with balance more than their peers. They may shuffle, hesitate at curbs, or feel unsure on stairs. That's because the nerves feeding information from their feet to their brain are being dulled, not by age alone, but by a toxic load of pyridoxine. It's a quiet breakdown that turns daily walks into tiring struggles. And since it's not caused by muscles or joints, stretching or exercise won't fix it. Even more concerning, some seniors are prescribed high-dose B6 by healthcare providers for conditions like carpal tunnel, PMS, or morning sickness, but those situations typically involve younger adults. In older individuals, the risk-benefit balance shifts dramatically. According to the European Food Safety Authority, prolonged intake of B6 above 25 milligrams daily may already pose a risk to nerve health, especially in vulnerable populations like the elderly. That means even moderate doses sold over the counter can be problematic if taken routinely. The signs of B6-induced neuropathy can be confusing at first. They might feel like clumsiness or occasional foot numbness, but over time, it becomes clear that something deeper is wrong. Walking across a room feels less steady. Standing for long periods brings discomfort. Some describe a feeling like their legs are heavy or disconnected from their body. All of this can lead to more sitting, less movement, and further muscle weakening, turning a vitamin intended to support health into the start of decline. A study from the Mayo Clinic tracked older patients who experienced nerve symptoms and found that in several cases, B6 levels were abnormally high, despite no other known cause. When the supplement was stopped, some patients slowly regained feeling and strength, but others were left with permanent tingling and reduced mobility. The researchers emphasized that supplements marketed as natural or safe still carry risks when used without medical oversight, especially in doses far beyond nutritional needs. Another issue is that many B6-containing products are not labeled clearly. The front may say energy support or mood balance, while the actual B6 content is buried in fine print. Seniors with mild memory loss or vision problems may not notice these details. And because B6 is water-soluble, people assume it's harmless. But nerve damage is not about what your kidneys can flush out. It's about what accumulates in your nervous system over time. In some cases, even seemingly low doses can add up. A multivitamin might contain 10 milligrams. An energy drink could have 20 milligrams. A brain boost pill might add another 15 milligrams. Taken together, these push total intake well above the threshold for nerve stress. The symptoms don't show up overnight, so the connection between supplements and leg weakness is often missed until it's too late. Doctors now recommend that anyone over 50 who is experiencing leg numbness, tingling, or unexplained balance issues should review all their supplements with a pharmacist. Blood tests can measure B6 levels if toxicity is suspected. If caught early, symptoms may gradually improve. But if the exposure continues, the nerve fibers can become so damaged that walking unaided becomes difficult. The tragedy is that this outcome is entirely preventable. Unlike other vitamin deficiencies, B6 toxicity is not caused by food, it's caused by pills. You cannot eat your way into B6 nerve damage through bananas, poultry, or vegetables. It only happens when supplements override the body's natural limits. That's why older adults must be cautious, even if they've taken the same pill for years. Bodies change with age, and what was once tolerable at 40 might be dangerous at 70. In countries like the UK and Germany, health agencies have issued public warnings about excessive B6 use in the elderly. Some have even called for stronger labeling. Laws. In the U.S., the FDA has not banned high-dose B6 supplements, but awareness is growing. Several healthcare organizations now advise against routine use of B6 above 50 milligrams per day in people over 60, unless supervised by a physician. Many seniors worry about losing independence, especially if their legs grow weak or unstable. They fear falling, being hospitalized, or needing a walker. What few realize is that a daily pill taken with good intentions may be part of the problem. Protecting leg strength means protecting nerve health, and that means avoiding anything that slowly chips away at the communication lines between muscles and the brain. If you've been taking B6 supplements and notice foot numbness, leg fatigue, or unusual imbalance, don't ignore it. It's not just aging. It could be your body's quiet warning that something is off. The solution may be as simple as stopping the pill, but only if you catch it in time. Awareness, not more pills, is what keeps legs strong and steps steady after 50. Reducing unnecessary supplements is one of the most direct, powerful ways to protect leg strength as you age. Vitamins are tools, not cures, and when used carelessly, Even helpful tools can leave damage behind. B6 is one of the clearest examples of this. It doesn't need to be feared, but it absolutely must be respected. And for most seniors, the safest path is to keep it low or cut it out completely, unless a trusted doctor says otherwise. You don't need megadoses to live well. You need balance, awareness, and a little care with what you put in your body each day. Your legs carry your life. Protect them by knowing what's in your vitamins and choosing only what truly supports you. Number 2, vitamin A is essential for vision, immune support, and healthy skin. But when taken in high doses, especially in the form of preformed retinol, it can quietly weaken the very muscles and bones that support your legs. For people over 50, this isn't just a small concern. Excess vitamin A has been repeatedly linked to muscle pain, bone thinning, leg cramps, and even fractures, particularly in older adults whose bodies no longer process vitamins the way they used to. The danger doesn't come from food-based sources like carrots or leafy greens. It comes from supplements that contain synthetic or animal-based retinol, often in doses far beyond what the body needs. The recommended upper limit for vitamin A is 3,000 micrograms per day of retinol activity equivalents, but many supplements exceed that, some even triple it. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that are flushed out when in excess, vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means it stays in the body and builds up over time, especially in the liver. Seniors with slower metabolism and reduced liver function are at greater risk of accumulation, which can lead to toxicity symptoms that show up in the legs and lower body before anywhere else. One of the earliest signs of too much vitamin A is cramping, particularly in the thighs and calves. These cramps are not caused by dehydration or overuse, but by the breakdown of muscle tissue and the interference with normal nerve signaling. The same vitamin that was meant to strengthen the body begins to interfere with calcium balance inside muscle cells, making them spasm involuntarily, especially at night. For someone over 60, this can disrupt sleep, increase daytime fatigue, and make walking or exercising more difficult due to lingering soreness. Bone health is also directly impacted by excess vitamin A research published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that people with high levels of retinol in their blood had a significantly higher risk of hip fractures, even when their vitamin D and calcium intake were adequate. This happens because vitamin A stimulates bone breakdown more than bone formation. Over time, the bones of the legs, including the hips and femurs, lose density. This makes them more fragile, more likely to crack from minor falls, and slower to heal. The risk is especially high for older women, but it affects men as well, particularly those taking multivitamins along with cod liver oil or liver-based supplements. The National Institutes of Health has warned that long-term intake of high-dose vitamin A may also interfere with muscle repair, reducing strength in the legs and increasing the chance of injury. Seniors who walk frequently, climb stairs, or try to stay active may begin noticing increased muscle fatigue, slower recovery, and even a shaky or wobbly feeling in their steps. This is not just aging. It's a direct consequence of a vitamin working against the body's natural rebuilding process. Instead of supporting leg function, too much vitamin A quietly slows it down.
Older adults are particularly vulnerable because of how vitamin A is stored and used in the body after age 50.
After age 50, liver storage becomes more saturated and tissue sensitivity increases. Even moderate excess can tip the balance from helpful to harmful. A senior taking 5,000 IU of retinol daily for months may feel no symptoms at first, but by the time leg weakness or hip pain appears, the damage is already underway. In some cases, vitamin A toxicity has been misdiagnosed as arthritis, neuropathy, or sciatica, delaying proper treatment and allowing more bone and muscle loss to occur in clinical settings. Doctors have reported cases where seniors experienced chronic thigh cramps, brittle bones, or difficulty walking, only to find that blood levels of vitamin A were several times higher than normal. In one such case published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, a patient over 65 was taking multiple over-the-counter supplements, all containing preformed vitamin A. His doctors noticed rapid bone loss and leg fatigue that reversed only after discontinuing the supplements. These real-world examples highlight the hidden risks many people face without even realizing it. The form of vitamin A matters greatly. Beta-carotene, found in fruits and vegetables, is a precursor that the body converts into retinol only when needed. It poses no known toxicity risk, even at high intake levels. But preformed vitamin A from animal sources or synthetic versions in pills bypasses that safety mechanism. The body stores it immediately, and when levels become too high, symptoms begin to show, most often in the legs, where both nerves and muscles are affected. Seniors already face a higher risk of falls due to vision changes, joint stiffness, and slower reaction times. Adding weakened bones and cramping muscles to that mix dramatically increases the likelihood of serious injury. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths among adults over 65. While many factors contribute to fall risk, hidden vitamin toxicity is one that can often be controlled. If people know what to look for and what to avoid, manufacturers often market vitamin A as essential for skin, immunity, and anti-aging. And while a small amount is indeed necessary, more is not better, especially for older adults. The daily value listed on many supplements is based on general population needs, not tailored to the over 50 body. A pill labeled with 5,000 IU may seem harmless, but for someone already getting vitamin A through their diet, it can push total intake above the safe threshold very quickly. And when multiple supplements are combined, the risk multiplies silently. Doctors now recommend that older adults avoid supplements containing more than 1,500 micrograms or 5,000 IU of preformed vitamin, unless specifically directed by a physician. They also suggest reviewing all supplement labels carefully, especially those labeled for vision, immunity, or skin, as these are the most likely to contain high amounts of retinol. Seniors with osteoporosis, frequent muscle cramps, or a history of fractures should be especially cautious, as excess vitamin A can make all these conditions worse. Blood tests can detect vitamin A levels, but many seniors never get tested because they don't report symptoms or don't associate leg cramps or bone pain with a vitamin. That's why awareness is so critical. Catching the problem early allows time to adjust intake, reduce toxicity, and protect both muscle function and bone density going forward. The body can recover, but only if it's given the chance to do so before permanent damage is done. People over 50 don't need high doses of vitamin A to stay healthy. They need careful balance. The body becomes more sensitive with age, and even once helpful habits can become harmful if not adjusted. Leg strength, coordination, and stability depend on strong muscles and solid bones, both of which can be compromised by silent vitamin A overload. It's not about eliminating nutrients. It's about choosing them wisely, based on real needs, not outdated habits or flashy marketing. Protecting your legs starts with protecting what goes into your body each day. A label that says for skin and vision doesn't mean it's right for someone in their 60s or 70s. Reading closely, asking questions, and knowing the difference between forms of vitamin A can make all the difference. Avoiding high-dose retinol is not a sacrifice. It's a safeguard, one that preserves mobility, independence, and quality of life. Your legs are more than just limbs. They are your freedom. Don't let a daily pill rob you of that. Keeping your bones strong and your muscles working smoothly depends on smart choices. And one of the smartest is to stay far below the danger zone of vitamin A. Number 3. Vitamin E is often praised for its antioxidant properties, but taking it in high doses, especially in the form of synthetic alpha-tocopherol, can quietly weaken the body's natural systems that maintain leg strength and balance. For people over 50, this can mean slower muscle recovery, increased fatigue in the lower limbs, and a higher risk of falls. The very supplement believed to protect the body from aging may, in fact, speed up the loss of mobility when used in excess. Seniors need to be cautious, not because vitamin E is harmful by nature, but because too much interferes with the body's repair process after physical activity. When muscles work, even during simple activities like walking or standing, tiny amounts of wear and stress occur. The body responds with inflammation, followed by recovery, which helps rebuild the muscles slightly stronger each time. This cycle is natural and necessary. However, large doses of vitamin E can interrupt that process by suppressing the signals a body sends to trigger inflammation and healing. Several studies have shown that people who take more than 400 IU of vitamin E daily experience blunted muscular adaptation, meaning their bodies don't recover or grow stronger after regular movement. Instead, muscles become slower to heal, more prone to fatigue, and eventually weaker. For older adults, this effect is especially concerning. After age 50, muscle mass naturally begins to decline. The body needs every advantage to hold on to strength, coordination, and flexibility. But when excessive vitamin E is added to the mix, the balance is tipped in the wrong direction. Instead of supporting aging muscles, it slows their ability to repair after effort. This leaves legs feeling heavier, joints less responsive, and walking more exhausting than it should be. Some seniors notice they can't walk as far without needing to rest. Others feel soreness in the thighs or calves after minimal activity. These are not signs of aging alone. They may be subtle effects of suppressed recovery caused by high-dose E supplements. There's also evidence that excess vitamin E affects the nervous system. The brain and muscles work together through precise nerve signals to control every step, turn, and reaction. But when vitamin E levels become too high, those signals may become less effective. In some clinical trials, seniors who took high dose vitamin E showed increased instability, delayed reflexes, and difficulty maintaining balance during simple tasks. This isn't surprising, as vitamin E can accumulate in nerve tissues and affect the way signals are transmitted, particularly in older adults whose systems are already more sensitive to changes in chemistry. Fall rates also rise when leg strength and balance are compromised. According to data from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults taking high doses of vitamin E, especially when combined with other antioxidants, had a slightly higher incidence of falls and lower leg performance compared to those taking lower doses or none at all. These findings were echoed by researchers in Europe, who noted that while vitamin E plays an important role in cellular health, more is not better when it comes to maintaining mobility. They found that exceeding the tolerable upper intake level of 400 IU per day offered no additional benefit and posed real risks for muscle weakness and balance disruption. The form of vitamin E matters as well. Most high-dose supplements use synthetic alpha-tocopherol, which does not behave exactly the same way as the natural forms found in food. The synthetic version can dominate the bloodstream and outcompete other forms of vitamin E that the body actually relies on. This imbalance can lead to unintended effects, particularly in tissues like skeletal muscle and the central nervous system. Over time, the result is a gradual breakdown in communication between muscles and nerves, often first noticed as a sense of being off balance, especially in dim lighting or uneven terrain. Older adults are also more likely to take multiple supplements at once, which increases the chance of exceeding safe levels of vitamin E without realizing it. multivitamins, immune boosters, and heart health blends often contain added vitamin EA. Senior taking several of these products may unknowingly surpass the 400 IU threshold by a wide margin. And because symptoms develop slowly, they often go unnoticed until a fall occurs or walking becomes noticeably harder. What feels like fatigue or aging may actually be a sign of subtle nutrient overload. Some doctors now caution against routine high-dose vitamin E supplementation in seniors unless there is a clear, diagnosed deficiency. The evidence suggests that, while moderate levels of vitamin E from food sources are beneficial, supplements in high amounts offer no added protection against chronic diseases and may harm physical function instead. In particular, physicians treating older adults with balance issues or unexplained leg fatigue are beginning to ask more questions about supplement use, and in many cases, reducing or stopping vitamin E pills leads to gradual improvement. Even more concerning is that vitamin E has been shown to interfere with muscle protein synthesis after exercise. This means that when a senior engages in light physical activity, such as gardening, walking, or climbing stairs, the body may fail to build muscle in response if excess vitamin E is present. The opportunity for muscle maintenance is lost. In a younger person, this might not make much difference. But for someone over 60, who is already losing muscle each year, it can accelerate decline. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has stated that 1 in 4 older adults falls each year, and the consequences are often serious. Hip fractures, head injuries, and long-term immobility are common outcomes. If supplement habits are quietly contributing to the weakening of muscles and balance, that needs to be addressed. Avoiding unnecessary high doses of vitamin E is one of the simpler steps that can protect against these outcomes. It doesn't require a major lifestyle change, only an informed look at what's in the supplement cabinet. Blood testing for vitamin E is rarely performed unless toxicity is suspected, which means many cases go undetected. However, symptoms like constant leg tiredness, a sense of unsteadiness, or slower recovery from activity may all be subtle indicators that the body is not processing recovery properly. Doctors who specialize in geriatric care are beginning to connect these signs with high antioxidant intake, including vitamin E, and are urging caution when it comes to supplementation. Older adults don't need to avoid vitamin E entirely. Body still requires it for immune support and cellular health. But food-based sources like nuts, seeds, and leafy greens provide more balanced and bioavailable forms without risking overdose. Supplements should be used only when clearly needed and under the guidance of a healthcare provider, especially if taken alongside other vitamins. The goal is to support the body's natural repair systems, not override or suppress them. The idea that more vitamins mean more health is deeply rooted in many people's thinking. But when it comes to vitamin E and muscle recovery, more can mean less. Less strength, less balance, less confidence in walking. This is especially true after 50, when maintaining leg function is one of the most important keys to independence and well-being. Being cautious with vitamin E is not about restriction. It's about choosing a smarter, safer path forward. Every step matters as we age. The ability to move freely, recover quickly, and trust our legs is not guaranteed. It must be protected. Avoiding high-dose vitamin E supplements is a small but powerful choice that supports that goal. It helps ensure that your legs stay strong, your balance stays firm, and your steps stay steady.